Hosking deserves one, goes back inside, and they plant the ball down Hudson Young. Canberra Raiders a first up victory. The Ricky Stewart ambush is complete. 27 seconds ticking away. It is the Raiders by 4, Canberra 24, Canterbury 20. Pass! It was a horrible pass, and the Canberra Raiders have won the first game in Magic Round. And look at Ricky Stewart.
I just want happy the way I went over to ask about Brandon and Trent Robinson's had a go at me. Like I went to apologise and he's turned on me. So, the way he done that, I thought that were out of order. I don't know what he said in his media, if he's done it before yet. But yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Wow, that was a flashpoint, wasn't it? That was round 26.
That's just helped me because I'm doing for this weekend. I've already filed the Christmas cards. Those that won't be sharing Christmas cards.
There's another one.
There's one that I
Elliot
completely
Whitehead
forgot.
And Trent Robinson.
Bang. That's a good one.
Canberra Raiders. So they finished 12-12. They were equal 8th. They had a shocking for and against. They were minus 127. We had the Dolphins finishing 10th. They had a for and against of minus 1. But the Canberra Raiders minus 127. What did you think of their season 2024, Michael?
Yeah, surprised me. Surprised me that they were in finals contention. I didn't have any hope for them heading into this season. So I thought with the way that roster was, I wasn't convinced they were going to be as good as they were, but they did surprise me. I really like Kyle Weeks. I think his running threat is a significant thing for them. Tarpany is still elite. Josh Papali'i's starting to waver a little bit in terms of being a top-end prop, and his minutes are down, and they're managing him now through games. Tim McCall's so underrated. He's a good centre. You don't like him?
No, I'm just thinking his form at the end of last year, at the end of 23, and then into that Pacific Championships final was really good. I don't know that we got, and it all becomes a function of, for me, what the Canberra Raiders spine looks like.
Correct.
And their ability or inability to score points.
Yeah.
So they came, a number of teams in the comp set, they came 15th in points scored.
And that, when you're breaking that Raiders side down, the question marks remain over that spine.
Totally.
Right? Fogarty played 14 games. He needs to play 20-plus games.
He was a big loss because he's such a crucial part of it. He's a good foil for Ethan Strange when they're there together. So Ethan Strange is sort of like, again, a 14. He's this running player. He's not a creator. So Weeks...
And struggled with week-to-week NRL, which happens at that age.
Of course.
Okay? Because he started the year and people are like, could he play Origin?
Who's this kid?
Could he play Origin? That was some talk.
Who said that?
Oh, not me.
Right.
But no, people were saying he could be a bench player for Origin, right?
Right.
At the opening, at the start of the season, but his form fell away significantly. But that comes with being a young playmaker.
So I look at that spine and go, Weeks, no Rapana.
I like Weeks.
So Weeks, Strange, Fogarty, Levi, Starling interchange. Sanders is there now, Ethan Sanders, the young guy. And I'm like, because Jamal Fogarty, I know he only played 14 games, but he had 10 try assists, and there was no one else with him.
There's no one else putting players in a better position.
No.
Then he's the only one in that side that can put the outside men into a better position. Strange creates through individual brilliance.
That's right. He'll run and beat tackles.
Weeks is a threat.
Yep.
Weeks. If I was a club, I would have loved to have signed him as a running 6.
Who has more upside? Keanu Kinney or KO Weeks?
Probably Kinney.
Yeah, I think so, Kinney.
But Weeks not far behind, and he sort of flies under the radar. I think he's a really good player. All in all, the Raiders, I think they had a fine season, better than I anticipated. And you look at the fact that they still have that uncertainty around their spine, and Fogarty missed so much footy, but I think they'd be content with their 2024 season.
This sums up, I think, the last 4 games of the year for the Canberra Raiders. So let's go from the last game. They win 26-24 against the Dragons. They win 14-12 against the Roosters. They win 22-18 against the Panthers. But the game before that, they lost 42-4.
Yeah. And
so there's those big losses.
And the one before that, they conceded a fair bit of points.
46-24, the loss to Manly. So that was the... And so the other thing that we always talk about, or no one talks about, is Ricky Stewart and his tenure there at the Canberra Raiders. And I've talked about it on my afternoons program. His record is basically identical to Brad Arthur. One of them was sacked. The other one got a 4-year extension.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard because Ricky is a club legend, does incredible stuff in the community there. But if you want to look at it in bald-faced facts, one guy got sacked after making a grand final with his team, and the other guy got a 4-year extension.
Yeah, but I think you could argue the fact that Ricky's got more out of his squad than Brad has in terms of that talent there. Is that Parramatta roster has been far superior than the Canberra roster.
How do we go about Canberra then attracting players?
Well, what they've done is amazing. So they've signed Matty Nicholson, who will be a back rower who will come in, and there's some raps on him from Warrington. And I've heard Sam Burgess speak about him, and Sam Burgess says he's an NRL player. He's just not sure if he's an NRL player in 2025 or not.
Okay.
Sam would have loved him to stay in Warrington for another 12 months, then go on to the NRL. But, sometimes those players can develop quicker coming here as well and being in that system. So, they've had success with that in the past. Ethan Sanders, Miles Martin, guys that you might not have heard of. So what Canberra have done, I think they've got about 5 New South Wales under-19s players in their roster now. It's very much NFL draft style of player where they've loaded up on a draft and have got the best young talent at that bottom level coming through to see how that goes. Miles Martin was from Newcastle, Ethan Sanders from Parramatta. They've signed Tamale from the Dragons, an outside back, who's also was part of that side. So they've bought a crop of the best young talent because, as you said, they struggle to attract it at the top end. So they're getting them in their system younger. So I actually think that's really smart. I commend them on what they're doing. All that means, though, is that it's going to be tough in 2025 for them because those players aren't ready yet.
So you've got to sell that story, right? Yeah. Hey, we're building. How long are we building?
It's hard. It is hard because I get that, and clubs can always go, we're building for the future. But at least you can see what they've done here.
So they've done really well with regional New South Wales and Englishmen.
Yeah.
Before that, it was Brisbane players. Yeah. But now that there's four clubs in Brisbane, you're getting less of that, and Queensland players. The other one, Chevy Stewart, might be an interesting one to watch. I thought his first game was a tough one, but after that, he showed himself to be of NRL quality. So give us your... all right, what are you grading?
B? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking C+, B-. Yeah.
I haven't gone with the...
No, okay.
So I'm just stuck solid.
Morning, summer boys. Jack Whiten's move to South impacted Timacaw's ability to perform. From a cousin of Craig Carayannis, says Jay. So there we go.
Lots of cousins. I've got a fair few cousins.
Lots of cousins. There you go. Did Jack Whiten's move impact Timacaw? Well, Timacaw's a right-sided player and Jack's a left-sided player, predominantly. I don't know if that... I think the injury to Jamal Fogarty was the thing that impacted Timacaw as much because Ethan Sanders is a left-sided player, but he's a runner and not a creator, as you quite rightly pointed out. You know, Michael, doctors say a proper breakfast includes eggs, bacon, and breakfast with Fossey and Brandy. So get your daily fix through our socials and listen live on SEN Radio.